last lap. One more lap. There's the flag, it's over. Green, green, green. Car right. Still there. Hold your line. Still there. Still there. Hold your line. Clear on the right. Right side. Still there. Clear. Right side. Still there. Hold your line. Clear on the right. Clear. Right side. Clear. Clear on the left. Car on your left. Clear on the left. flag. Bring it back to pits, we're going.
Qualifying, but for the error that occurred within the organisation of WRT, a rare occurrence, they got an additional 5-place grid penalty drop. So they're going to start back in the 10th row of the grid in 20th place. So
well done, John. I thought it was going to be a race before they got round to the grid. But so among those that gained were people like Mirko Bortolotti. Step forward, but big gain, hey, from way out of it, from 18th up to 17th. But every place is a position gained, but down to the first corner, every place could be a position lost. So let us see. So track conditions absolutely fine on this September day here at the Nürburgring. The sun is shining. There is high cloud. It may yet change. The race, though, is only 1 hour. Hopefully we can get through without anything untoward. But a sight we haven't seen through 2017 is a McLaren right at the front end, starting second on the grid, Rob Bell. What can he do? So it's great for us. We've got a camera on board with Mirko Bortolotti. Not great for Mirko that he's got 17 cars in front of him.
Well, in fact, at the very top of your screen, just behind that formation lap sign there, you can see the 63, the green Lamborghini. And I mean, for Mirko Bortolotti, with all the skill and experience he has, what he needs to do is just avoid trouble. If he sees trouble, steer away from it. Don't go for closing gaps. Don't take risks that you have no control over, which is inevitably what will be the situation on an opening lap or two.
So out of the chicane, the final time on the formation lap. Lights ablaze on the pole starting Audi of Dries van Tor. That's number 5. Alongside him, number 59 McLaren, Rob Bell, who's done so well in this championship in the past. But now he thinks he's got a car that maybe can challenge and put McLaren on the map this year. It's not been a great season. So the full 33, well, it's 32 cars. We've lost the 55 car damaged in qualifying this morning, but it looks like a great start, waiting for the lights to go green. Absolutely thundering already out down to the first corner. Rob Bell losing position, but for Dries van Tor, he's got it under control. Daniel Kalvitz, he doesn't mind at all, up into second place. A little tap up his bottom, I think, there from Andrea Caldarelli. A lot of people going wide, but no contact, I think. But for Rob Bell, he lost several positions.
Yeah, Rob got tapped coming into turn one. There's always coming into turn one. Everybody tends to dive down to the inside to try and take the outside. Oh, and round goes the 63 car Mirko Bortolotti, the very thing which I said he needs to avoid. has occurred. He looks like he's going to be stone last. So whether that was an assist or whether that was just a driver error, we might get a view of it in a moment or two. But in the meantime, it is the number 5 Audi that's made the break.
But we've had a change. Caldarelli has moved up ahead of Kalvitz into second place overall. Just can't see anything right at the back of the pack. You may see the green flash from Bortolotti. Yeah, way behind the rest. Middle order, very, very tight indeed. 99 right in the mix as well.
And bodywork coming off. Is that one of the McLarens?
It is. And it hit. I think
looks like it might. Is that Rob Bell? Or Ben Barnicoat, one of the 2 McLarens. Oh, further damage. Oh, dear, right into the side of the door. So somebody got tagged the Audi, which that may have been. I don't know, was that Robin Friends? Couldn't quite see. But the McLaren there, you can see, it is the 75. Is it Frank Stippler? It is Frank Stippler and the 58 McLaren. And both cars, that was Ben Barnicoat. So both cars down at turn 8. Most distant point on the circuit, but the McLaren dragging its left rear guard.
Looking in the middle of the pack, we haven't really mentioned, if you haven't seen qualifying, we've got a new car this weekend. It's the Lexus joined the championship. That's going very well indeed, and certainly causing a great stir. Albert Costa at the wheel. Don't forget that'll be handed over to Daniel Ortelli. So much experience, former Le Mans winner. So really, really tight in the middle order, and this is all playing into the hands of Dries van Tor. Brilliant start from pole position. Now he's pulling clear of Andrea Caldarelli.
Well, no, again, you can see, look at the damage to the 58 McLaren, Frank Stippler in the 75 Audi, so both cars...
Yellow flags, obviously, down there.
And who caused that? Probably not either of the 2 cars, but they 2 got together because there's so little space on the exit of turn 8, and it was inevitable. Down into turn 1, it is going to be, I would assume, a full course yellow, certainly a yellow flag in sector 2, and those 2 cars will need assistance to pull them to safety down at a slightly more vulnerable part of the racetrack, the hairpin bend down at turn 8.
Yeah, and it's yellow in sector 2. Sector 2 starts just before turn 8. It's the entry to the hairpin, so drivers can absolutely race until they get to this point. Hopefully for Maxi Buch, he won't get something flying back towards him as he did at the start of the race when he was about this point on the circuit, on the run down towards the hairpin. You can see the bodywork hanging loose, so that's the one in front of him, which is Rob Bell's car. So Bell got obviously a tap on the opening lap. He lost a few positions in the run through the first chicane, the first hairpin, the first sector of the circuit.
It was into turn 1 that he got tagged, and that's why he went out left. So he got contact. We couldn't see. We need to have a review of the start into turn 1 to be precise about who it was that did tag the left corner of Rob Bell's 59 McLaren.
Okay, now obviously we're running at less than full speed there because it's in the full course yellow, the second of the 3 sectors. In fact, safety car.
Yep.
Now we have the message on the screen. So everyone has to calm down all over again. It was a very good, tidy start, but a particularly good start from Daniel Kalvitz, up from 5th place overall on the grid, and he doesn't care that he's in the Pro-Am class. He wants to show that he's the pro and he can take it to the pros.
Yeah,
he's done it time and again.
Ferrari was coming down the inside into turn 1. It got to the point where people that were trying to come across had a Ferrari on the inside, so everybody had to sort of give a bit more space, and Rob Bell, who was on the outside of turn 1 coming into it, got tagged on that left rear corner. Still driving around, you can see the bodywork still flapping away.
Yeah, I was just wondering, looking to the screen, see if there's a warning flag, a black and white warning flag, but maybe they think it's secure. It's secure. Okay, it's ripped away at the rear. Obviously, he was given a clatter down into turn 1 on that opening.
Smoke coming from the back of the 63 Lamborghini.
So, well, that would go with him being hit up the tail end on the opening lap at turn 1, possibly turn 2. Turn 2, he went for the spin, but he might have been given a clatter into turn 1 as well.
Could be.
So, Dries van Tor leading around from Andrea Caldarelli. Pro-Am class leader Daniel Kalvitz in the green Ferrari in 3rd place. Raffaele Marciello up into 4th, and then the tattered McLaren of Rob Bell in 5th place. Full course yellow to start with, and now the safety car leading around. The incident between 75 Frank Stippler and 58 down at the hairpin.
spot to contest for playoffs, but it was a pretty rough week last week. 0-2 for these guys, 0-2 for their opponents. That said, Unicorns of Love just lost. This is their chance to get a lead. They're tied up in the scoreboard right now. Now they can pull ahead if they find a win here.
Yeah, and the remaining schedule with Schalke, then Misfits, Fnatic, and Splice. It's one of the toughest schedules you can have. And obviously the Schalke game, the one they're playing right now, might actually be the easiest of all 4 of them. So if they win here, they're on a good track, but they still have to at least take down one of these other top teams. And it's still tough for Giants, but they've done a lot of good work.
I mean, it's very hard. But we look back to last week, we look at their match versus G2, and I liked so much of what I saw. Deficio, so much innovation, so many new picks, and yes, they were winning.
They should have won this one. I love they put Ruin on Kled. They're like, listen, we know you can play carries, we know you want to be aggressive. They get like this diving, the backline comp to shut down perks. They had everything going in their favor. And then some of the fights we're seeing now started happening where it wasn't really Giants engaging it properly. G2 started delaying the game more and more. And sadly for Giants, the comp got a little bit too hard to execute. But I still love the fact they're trying to play more aggressive early to mid-game and really utilize Ruin.
Yeah, utilize those individual player strengths, something that we always love to see when you have someone who can play those carry champions. Make sure that it comes through for you. Now, on the opposite side, we have Schalke. This is a lineup that had a lot of hype around them before the split.
Because of us.
Well, yeah, kind of because of us. Sorry. 8 weeks in, however. They are at the bottom of the standings. They're currently on a 3-game losing streak, so I have to ask you to fish what's actually going wrong here?
It's a lot of things, but I think the main thing for me is that Schalke are trying to play this perfect game of League of Legends. And it's not necessary, because when you try and play the perfect game, it becomes less about the individual talent and more about the shot calling and the macro knowledge of a team. And we just have to say it. Right now, if you are Schalke, you don't have a good
Green, green, green. Car right. Clear. Car right. Clear. Left side. Clear on the left.